It's Monday, August 10th, and we have 4 different big areas of slight risk of severe weather today. The main threat being anywhere from central Illinois all the way through Indiana, all the way through Columbus and Ohio, past Ohio, up through Pennsylvania, includes West Virginia, and then Delaware and Maryland in there, and most of New Jersey. So that's just one of the slight risk, and that tells you there is a very big area that's going to be seeing some severe weather today. Not to mention the other 3 are a bit smaller, but still include lots of areas. So we have places like South Dakota up through southwestern Minnesota. We have northwestern to north central Iowa in there as well. And then our smallest risk on the board includes a bit of Nebraska that goes back down for the little tiny northwestern kind of square area there in Kansas. And it does include some parts of northeastern Colorado as well. And our final slight risk, and oh my god, it feels like we're talking about this a lot. We have another slight risk of severe weather here for Arizona today, and this goes back up by Phoenix in Arizona. So just by Phoenix today, we have a risk of severe weather. And that's not all. I've also updated the Liam Severe 7-day cyclone outlook. It was updated at 1:23 p.m. today. And now we're pretty confident that we are going to see a tropical system develop. But the other 2 that I have highlighted here, I'm less confident, and I'm especially less confident with the one just to the west of this system. I've put us around a 10% in the next 7 days and about a 5% in the next 48 hours. On a northern one you see up here, I've put us around a 10% over the next 7 days as well, but I put us around a 3% over the next 48 hours. And then, of course, our big area, you're probably seeing this, and you know, oh my goodness, this is a much bigger area than both of the others. Do I have to worry? Now, I wouldn't say you have to freak out over this, but it's definitely better to start being aware that this does exist. And it's a much bigger X than both of the other ones, which tells you it's a little bit bigger than both of the others right now. And it's forecasted to become much bigger as it starts to try to develop over the next 7 days. But I've put our 7-day percent chance of this formation around a 70% chance. So I think I'm pretty positive that this is going to have a big chance of developing into our next named storm, which would be Cristobal. Over the next 48 hours, I have put us around a 20% chance of development. And yeah, so we're pretty confident this will have the chance, at least if it's not tomorrow or the day after, that it's going to be within the next 7 days that we'll see this finally start to take a hold of all that warm moisture, surpass the wind shear, and try to develop into the next named storm. And it's a big severe weather day, and we got big severe weather days to come. And also, it's a big tornado day, so let's dive right into it. That's pretty cool. And we're about to dive right into it, but before I want to thank all of you guys for the support that we had on our latest live stream. This was yesterday. You can see we had a maximum of 136 views. So thank you guys so much. We had 136 views on our last stream. Also, before the video starts, I want to let you know that this video is going to be split into 2 segments. So if you look along the progress bar, you can go, this is going to be nationwide for the first half, and the second half is going to be for our viewing area, which is southern Indiana and northern Kentucky. So feel free, if you are tuning in from our viewing area, to skip to that part. And you're going to get the full nationwide right now. So without that being said, let's jump into it. Now, today's already been a mess. We have a ton of severe thunderstorm warnings, and we have a large area that's under severe thunderstorm watches. We have the entire state of New Jersey right now under a severe thunderstorm watch for the next few hours at minimum. We have the next 5 hours in here, so you are anywhere in New Jersey today, you're going to have the threat for some severe weather. And it goes the same for eastern to central Pennsylvania there. We have some parts of upstate New York in there as well. We have another county that's closer. We have New York City in there as well. And then this also runs back down through Delaware. We have that, and then through Maryland. That's where the line of storms is moving through right now. It's gone severe. And these severe thunderstorm watches are backed up, and they go all the way to some of the counties that are in our viewing area, which of course we'll get to that here in a moment. But right now, a lot of severe storm activity is expected in this region. And again, this is only one of the regions that's going to get the severe weather. And you can see it's very similar risk today. We have a lot of places. We have Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, into West Virginia and Ohio. That's where we're seeing it right now. And then as far as into northern Kentucky as well, which is our viewing area that we'll get to. That's when the severe weather is going to be moving through now. If you live anywhere in Indiana and Illinois, it's going to be a little bit later that we see that severe weather threat ramp up. Tornado outlook today sitting around a 2%, and this goes back up through Illinois, even though we had those tornadoes in Illinois earlier. We actually had a PDS tornado warning earlier in Illinois. But our tornado risk goes back down through northern Indiana, and it goes through Ohio, and then it goes all the way around through West Virginia. It doesn't really reach our viewing area, so our viewing area today, at least, is not under any tornado risk. However, we do have to watch for the potential of a tornado warning being issued. As you know, sometimes these will not just tell you if you're in this area, expect a tornado. You can still get one out of there, and also if you're in there, it doesn't mean that you're going to get a tornado. Not every place you see in here is going to get a tornado. It's only going to be very small places. And as you probably could have guessed, this time of year, this time of risk, we have a wind risk, which is the driving factor today of why we have a slight risk up here. But we do have a 30% wind risk here, and that is the red that you see. If you live anywhere in the red box, we think that we could see 60-mile-an-hour winds or greater if you live anywhere in that area, and we have a 30% probability chance of seeing that at any time when the storms are going by. So there's a good chance that if you live anywhere in here and you're getting impacted by a storm, the winds are going to be 60 miles an hour or greater, and this is holding up pretty well with what you see is happening right now. I mean, right now we have a ton of alerts going off, and if I put them on your screen here, take a look. You see all of the alerts just to the south now. That's where we have those storms producing 60-mile-an-hour winds and hail. And speaking of hail, we got a 5% hail risk. Pretty typical stuff here for summer. But when we go back up today, we have another area that's a hail risk, and this is the area we'll get to in a moment here. But the hail risk for this side of the United States sits at a 5%. So anytime when these storms are going by, there's a 5% chance that we'll see some hail. This could be up to 2 inches. Tornado risk sits at a 2% as well over Pierre, Gettysburg, and back up through Timberlake. Nothing crazy, you just have to watch for the potential of a spin-up tornado or two in this area today. And as of just now, tomorrow they have put out that enhanced risk of severe weather. So we think that we are going to be very confident that there's going to be some significant severe weather tomorrow. And this includes Cincinnati and it includes Indianapolis, so 2 big city names in there. And I think the enhanced risk should always be for when we know significant, widespread severe weather is going to be in a area. Up here north of this, we have Chicago in there as well. So Chicago, Illinois, in that enhanced risk tomorrow for some severe weather. Our tornado sits at a 2% risk up here. This is where we think, and it does extend through our viewing area. So there's a potential that we will go live tomorrow to cover actual severe weather threat locally. If not, we will definitely be going live nationally, though, to cover this. And the wind risk sits as the most destructive thing of this whole setup. You can see our max being at a 30% SIG 1 risk, which means we have a 30% chance of any time when these storms are going by in this specific area for there to be 80-mile-per-hour winds or greater. So you need to treat this with your utmost urgency tomorrow and have a preparing plan already in place before these storms arrive. So with that out of the way, let's dive into our viewing areas forecast, and this segment is powered by WXRundown. Go check them out. Link in the description. They have an app on iOS and they have an Android app coming soon. So let's dive right into it. So you can see for tonight, some of our area is under a severe weather risk. It's going to be mainly anywhere north of I-64 here, and this is where we could see some severe weather. We're sitting in that marginal threat, and this is because those storms are going to move by in this direction, but we're not too sure if they're gonna go with what the models are showing and the storm motion pushes this a little bit more to the east, or is it gonna dive bomb south? And that's the worst case scenario for our viewing area, at least, is if this dive bombs south and then we see more impacts in our region. And tomorrow's risk, this is when we get a little more on the concerning side. We have all of our area under a severe weather risk for tomorrow. You can see that Vernon area in the thick of it. We see this big area that is an enhanced risk now for some severe weather, but most of our area, anywhere that's going to be even north to south of I-64, and this goes all the way down by Bardstown and Elizabethtown. This is where we have that slight risk of severe weather, which does include this 2% tornado risk, and this goes from Oldham County to by New Albany, Salem, and up through Bedford in Indiana. I'm sure this will shift a little bit. I think it's going to shift a little more south to include that area in Louisville for tomorrow. But the main threat in our area is definitely going to be these winds that could be 60 miles an hour or greater. And in this region, if you see yourself anywhere in these northern counties, then you are going to be in that significant wind risk, or that SIG 1, which means we could see some 80-mile-per-hour winds, which is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. And of course, the hail risk looking dormant. We don't got any sort of hail risk for any of our viewing area tomorrow. Pretty much what I expected. And tonight's risk, once again, if any, is going to be that wind risk in our area. So we're going to see the chance of some 60-mile-an-hour winds as these storms pass by our region. But again, it's going to be limited to see if this actually plays out like how it's supposed to. And I'm going to use the HRRR model for this. And the only way that it shows severe weather being possible tonight in our area is around 8 to 9 p.m. when this single storm kind of pops up out of nowhere. If this doesn't dive bomb south, which it's most likely not going to according to most of the models on here, then the only risk is going to be this kind of storm that looks like it pops off around 8 p.m., which could pose a damaging wind threat for much of here. And again, this could not even be the actual size of it. It could be much bigger. We could have another one right next to it. So we're going to have to watch again for the chance of some severe weather in our northern Indiana counties and northern Kentucky County. This includes Oldham County up through Bullitt, Henry, and then anywhere to the north for Indiana. So Madison, Scottsburg, Lancaster, Vernon, especially Vernon and Seymour. You are the top priority tonight for any severe weather. You, if anywhere, is most likely where that's going to be. After this storm goes by, though, we're dry the rest of the night except for one shower that may catch some spots like Bullitt County up through Henry County as well, maybe Madison, Indiana, but nothing that's, again, going to bring some crazy rainfall. And again, like I said, we have a severe thunderstorm watch out right now, and this is going to be for our areas there in Carrollton, Kentucky. It's going to be the only county in our viewing area that is under that severe weather kind of watch tonight. And this watch zone is going to be limited to that wind gust threat. That's where we think the max of any threats that move by the area are going to be. It's going to be the wind threat. And you can see it, the HRRR shows us having some very high Cape values going through tonight. You see that some of that area by around 10 p.m. starts to lose that Cape, and that's as those storms are forming to the east of Indianapolis. This is where that best chance of a stray severe thunderstorm warning there in Vernon will be. And you can see our dew point sitting in the 70s here by Louisville. And then we have some 78. We may have a place over here with the 80 dew point, and that's really high. So if you go outside right now, you'll most likely feel, with the mix of this humidity around the 70s, that dew point and the temperatures sitting around 80, you're going to most likely feel like it's over 90. And it's going to feel really hot outside. However, it's not actually, it's just it feels like. So bottom line, if you live in our viewing area tonight, there's a small risk that we see a stray severe thunderstorm warning. I would not rule out maybe 1 or 2 severe thunderstorm warnings if that works its way a little more south than it's supposed to. However, at this time, I just don't think that's going to be much of a big threat tonight, as the storms look to be passing way more east than south, which could mean that most of them miss us. But again, if you live in our area, these next 2 days, you're going to have to make sure you have a way to receive reliable weather warnings, and you have a shelter plan, especially tomorrow, just in case that there's a tornado warning issued for our area. And that's going to be all for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Thank you to WXRundown for partnering with me. I know I used some other radars in this video to kind of get all the data out there, just because WXRundown is so good that it's such a big program that what I use, sometimes it crashes my computer. So thankfully we're getting some upgrades here soon, so hopefully I'll be able to use much more of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Shout out Cherry Coke, I just finished it. But see you guys in the next one, and have a great rest of your day.